doing the podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'd like to welcome everyone back for the return of our Women Talk podcast. Today we're going to talk about the modern superwoman, and we're going to look at how the role of the woman has changed, how do we define a successful woman, and how do we balance education and connect ourselves to our deen. And today I have two guests. I have Farhat Shaheen. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jazakallah.
And I have Aisha. Walaikum salam. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're doing well, yeah.
So Aisha, just for our viewers who haven't probably met you before, just give us a little background about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Aisha. I've got 4 children. I'm a housewife and I work as well full time. And yeah, that's it really.
And you do, you work with, where do you work?
I'm working in primary school as a teaching assistant, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the work?
Yeah, I love it, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, working with the kids, yeah.
And Farhat?
Yeah, my name is Farhat. I'm 48. I'm married to Harris. I've got 2 boys. Zaman, who's 22, and Ayan, who's 13. I'm a customer advisor on the Universal Credit Helpline. My background is community work, counselling, mental health. I've done that for the last 24 years.
Oh, mashallah, that's really good. Oh, great. I love how you put your husband's name in there.
Yeah.
You just gave him a shout out, in case he's watching this.
He told me to do that.
Did he ask you to give me a shout out?
So I'll put that one in.
So, in regards to, let me just get my glasses. I want to make a very good superwoman. Can you imagine me? Right, I'm off flying, and then hold on a second, I need my glasses so I can see where I'm going. Where's the M62 sign off? So, in what way do you think the roles of the woman has changed? From the time when our mums and now us, do you feel that the role has changed, Aisha?
I think we've been given a lot more responsibility.
Yeah.
In terms of role changing, I don't think it's actually changed. I think we've been given a lot more things added on to what our mums used to do.
Yeah.
So they were more of a stay at home.
Yeah.
They were expected to bring the children up, stay at home, cook and clean.
Yeah.
And
Be the homemaker.
Yeah. So the man would solely just go out to do the work.
Yeah.
Whereas times have changed. It's like we're coming into the financial crisis and all that, and
cost of
living's gone up. So I think it has to now become a joint effort where the women it's now come to that stage where the women sort of has to help the husband, in terms of financial help and things like that, so going out to work. So I think it's still the same. I think we're still expected to cook and clean and look after the children, but we've also been given that added extra role of helping the husband as well in terms of the finances.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You need 2 people working now to cover the cost of living. You can't just manage on one sort of wage.
No, because the time of my dad and my parents, the male was the main breadwinner, wasn't he? He'd go out to work. Yeah. Mum had all 6 of us to look after. That was enough of a job for her as it was. Yeah. But now you've got to balance both, don't you? As females now, we have to do both roles. So do you think that the women's views has changed in establishing work and education and prior to marriage? Before we used to, in our time when we got married, we didn't think about career, we didn't think about going to university, we didn't think about working. Do you think now women's views have changed before they get married? Are they career orientated or work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's expected of you now, isn't it? That's what people want now, don't they? My father, there's 7 of us, and he wanted 7 graduates in the family.
Oh wow!
We got 7 graduates.
Mashallah, well done.
So he encouraged the education. He said, "I want my children to be independent, educated," and he's always taught us to be independent as well, to manage yourself financially if you have to.
Yeah.
So he's always taught that independence to us, and you want to be a role model for your children as well.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
what they see is what they
Yeah,
do,
absolutely,
don't
yeah,
they? And if
yeah.
they have a parent who's maybe, but do you think that's changed women's views towards marriage? Do you think that's now they're saying that before there wasn't that onus, was there?
Yeah, so they're more career focused now, aren't they? Rather than marriage focused. They want to get the money. They want to show that I've got a good job. So I want the same for my children, you know.
Yeah.
And I want to get married to somebody who's on the same sort of like career path.
Yeah, wavelength as me.
Wavelength, yeah.
Yeah, because you look at the bios. Now there's bios. I didn't know that.
Right, bios.
Yeah, you know, yeah, bios. You know, if you're looking for something for your son or your wife, you know, your wife, your son, your daughter, you swap bios, height, weight, you know, religious inclination, education background, and before people even look at that, to meet, they'll tick or cross whether they accept your bio or not.
And it's really specific as well. Some people are so specific in what they want, and if they don't see that on the bio, they just won't consider you. It's like a CV, isn't it?
Yeah.
They'll just discard it if they're not interested, which I think is a bit of a shame, isn't it? Because you have to get to know the person first.
Yes, yeah.
Judging a book by its cover.
So when you, in the past, do you think that, getting more into it, how has the role changed? I know you said that, and why has the change come, do you think?
I think education is important. It's extremely important, and Islam encourages that as well. You know, you're allowed to be educated, and you should want to be educated to broaden your mind.
I mean, historically, if we look at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you look at Sayyidah Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, she was a businesswoman, so she was a role model, and she taught that you could balance both. So we look at Islam in essence, it was there at that time, and even Sayyidah Aisha, they say that half the deen is from her. She propagated the message, she conveyed it, and she did that. But then when you look at, say, the Western, I think there was a survey done in 2012 that when they did the survey in 1980s, they said that 40% of the households believed that the woman should stay at home, be the homemaker, cook, clean, look after the family, and the man was the main breadwinner. Now when they've done the survey, only 13% agree to that. But it was more a case of transcending against cultural indifferences, and there was a lack of education, because I wasn't pushed to go and have an education. My parents were happy for me to learn how to cook and clean. I failed that now. But that was the message that kind of, from my cultural background, I was given, that you'll be successful if you learn how to maintain a household, to look after your husband and, you know, cook and stuff. But now I think that's changed.
It's shifted, hasn't it?
It's shifted because the younger generation now, they want to have the education, and that's what's changed. I think as we call it, the modern Muslim woman, because she's got access to the education, and then because she's got that, and also if you look at the business industry, there's a lot of women with that are in higher roles.
Absolutely.
It's not a male-dominated society, kind of thing. There's women CEOs, there's women in banking, in business, in so many different areas, in politics now as well. And years ago, you wouldn't have seen that happen.
I mean, it's like you said, what is it that's changed these women's mindsets?
I think the gender roles have changed.
Gender roles, society, you know, where we live, you know, all these types of things. But I think you need to find that balance as well, you know, between having a career, working, and still looking after your family as well. Because I still do believe, I'm very old school, like, if I could stay at home cook and clean.
You would have
I would do.
No way, really?
Yeah. You know, I'm still very like old school in that sense of like, you
You're a
know,
homely person.
yeah. You know, I'd rather do that. I wouldn't want to go out to work, but you know, that's just me personally.
Yeah.
Being in that mindset, but it's just trying to find that balance between having that, you know, career or that job, but still having that mindset of like, yeah, I am the main person that has to look after the house and the children.
Do you feel that you want to do it, or you feel that you have to do it? Because we've been taught that the women's role is to help and look after the family and the husband and the kids and that environment. But if you look at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they had a role inside the house.
Yeah, they did,
It wasn't all given to their blessed wives, was it?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's just me, my personal. If I could do that, I would.
What about
See,
you,
I'm the
Farad?
opposite.
Yeah.
I believe in equality.
Don't get me wrong, I love
No,
I love
definitely.
getting out of the house and going to work.
Yeah, but your core feels like
I want to be at home, like, you know, I want to, you know, have the dinner ready and the kids all.
Yeah.
I think that's our maternal
looked after.
instinct, isn't
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
You know, you want to do that for your partner, for your children.
Yeah.
Again, you know, your education, your career.
There's nothing wrong with
well.
you having that view of you wanting to have your career.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with
I like working. If I stayed at home, I'd probably shoot someone in a halal way. It would drive me crazy. I'm one of them people that needs mental stimulation. But there is that guilt. I do feel guilty, you know, when I'm working or I have to go somewhere, I have to make sure that the kids have got food before I go away. Even though mine are adults, they literally are adults now. I still have that thing. So because we've got this event happening over the weekend, and I'm planning the menu, and my kids are like, "Mum, don't stress, we'll sort ourselves out," kind of thing. And it's just that thing in me. My son said to me, it was yesterday before, we were going to have lunch, and I couldn't be bothered to make something, so I made eggs, right? So there was only 3 eggs, right? So I gave him 2 and I had 1. And then later on, he just kind of said to me, are you okay? Did you have enough to eat? And I said, well, there was only 3 eggs, I gave you 2 and I had 1. And he said, Mum, no, you shouldn't have done that. You know, you should have taken it, right? And I was like, oh, that's cute. And then, typical, right, he tells me this story. He goes, do you know that married couples, who've lived together 40, 50 years of their lives, and one passes away, and the other one looks after them, takes care of their needs, and they've been there all their life, and then one passes away within a few months, the other one passes away because they haven't got that priority, they haven't got that focus in their life to do that. And he turned around and said to me, I'll never let you lose that focus. I'll always let you look after me. I was like, no, I didn't say thank you. I said, no thanks. I don't want that focus.
You can't die from a broken heart. It's actually
that's what he was saying. But I think he was being sarcastic. That he wanted me to carry on cooking for him, kind of thing.
I think they like that, don't they, the children? I encourage my boys. My eldest cooks. So I've encouraged that in him as well. My husband cooks as well. So we all share the responsibility.
My husband's cook as well.
He's and we should encourage
my
that.
My husband can rustle something up from nothing, and I'm like, how did you make that? He's like, well, I've just got up in the fridge and I've just got all this stuff there, and I've just made it, and it's like sorted.
We're gonna be coming up to Maghrib Salah break, but please do encourage the viewers out there, if you have any questions that you want to ask us, please do use the chat function in the YouTube link, and we will carry on until the advert comes for the Salah. I think we're hearing the Azan take place. But if there's anything that you want to ask Farad, or if there's anything you want to ask Shaheen or myself, then please do use the chat function, and we'll try and answer your questions. But moving on, how can we, so resemble the pious women of the past? Because if we look at the influential women out there, we've got people like Yasmin Moghahed. She's she was an influencer. She talks about Islam, etc. And you've got those people who are on that path, and they try and convey the message and tell you. But then you've got also media influencers that may be not giving the right projection. So how can we resemble or try and imitate the pious women of the past?
Like I said before, I think personally it's about finding that balance. So giving time to your family, giving time to Dean, and giving time to your work, your career. And I think it's like what the teachers mentioned in the past, to the nearest meaning, that's something that I'll always remember, is that if the dunya is like your shadow.
Right.
So if you try and chase your own shadow, you'll never catch it.
You never succeed.
Whereas like if you turn away from the dunya, from the shadow, the shadow will chase you. So the dunya will always chase you.
Yeah.
So finding that balance of giving that time to the Deen, whether it's some people are busy and they can just pray the 5 times namaz, but at least you've got that, you've done that, you've kept that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
But if you want to go further into it, then
and it helps me relax at the end of the day. I think it's really important to find out about Islam, going on to courses and things, events and things like that. I really find that important, and I've been doing that all along, all throughout my life.
Yeah. What about in the workplace? Because you're working in mainstream school, have you ever struggled with trying? Because I know when my son, the first thing when he started work, he was thinking, am I going to be able to pray my namaz? Is there going to be a place for me to pray? What about you? Did you encounter any difficulties when you started working?
Not really. That was the first thing. That's the first thing that I questioned was, would there be somewhere for me to pray?
Yeah.
And the deputy head said, you can find a small room.
Okay. So sorry to cut Aisha off, but we're going to go into our salah break. So inshallah we'll return, and during the break I'll have a look at any questions that have popped up. But please do, if you have any queries or questions that you want to ask our guests, then do put it into the chat function. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to the Women Talk podcast, and as mentioned I have my guest today, Sister Farhat and Sister Aisha. So going back to the question that I asked before the break, which was
I've got a memory like a goldfish.
what did I
It
ask?
was about work and how do you...
Yes, did you have any struggles when you first started work?
And what do you think about...
Yeah.
So, I think for me, the first question that I did ask was like, is there room for me to pray or... And they were quite accommodating really, and said, yeah, you can just use any room that's available.
What, the little cupboard in the corner?
Little cupboard in the corner, yeah. I mean, sometimes I used to put in the classroom at dinner time.
Yeah.
You know, and the teachers would come in and they'd just leave me to it.
Oh, that's good.
But I think in terms of like how you can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while you're at work, is by bringing those names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into it. So like Ar-Razzaq, you know, thinking about the, you know, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that's giving
The risk.
me the risk.
Yeah.
You know, and then helping the children, you know, the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help, you know, in terms of helping others. You know, so you're bringing that thought of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into your work. So that, I would say, is bringing that balance in as well.
Okay.
You know, of the deen as well as the you know, you're working, but you're still remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Absolutely.
What about you, Farhat?
And you try and incorporate that in your own role. So I've always done a job where I'm helping people.
Yeah.
That gives me satisfaction, and I know that Allah will be pleased with me. So obviously He's happy when you help others, and when you help others, Allah helps you as well. I truly believe in that concept.
Yeah. Do you think that you've had, I mean, because if I look at maybe my family, extended family and different areas, do you think people, what is their view of you having to juggle family, work? Do they think you're neglecting your kids?
I have had that in the past where, because I went back to college when I was like 40 years old. So
Me too! Me too!
I need to do more, I need to do something. So anyway, I went back to college because I thought I need to do something. So I went back to college when I was 40 and I got my degree.
Right.
I was moving house at the same time. I had 4 children to look after, you know, and I did get that where like, oh, you're doing too much, you know, you're working full time now, you know. I did get that, you know, you're supposed to look at home looking, but my husband's there. He's the dad as well, you know.
Yeah,
he's not just on me.
Yeah, but it is though, isn't it?
It's a partnership, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but I'm saying culturally, if you look at it, that's why they say the modern superwoman, because we're supposed to try and, even though it's not Islamic, it's cultural, we're supposed to balance both, do work, look after the kids, balance it all. If you want to have an education, go back and have an education, but you're the one that's taking it on. Did you what about you, what was your journey like, or have you found it?
So I did my education before marriage.
Yeah, she knew what she was doing.
I'm not sure if I could do it now.
No, we're late bloomers. We're late bloomers.
It's not a bad thing actually if you study it as a mature student, because you've got life experience.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
So, and like you said, you had the backing of your parents. You know, your dad wanted 7 graduates, 7 hats on the wall, kind of thing. So you had that encouragement, maybe motivation. Whereas to us, education wasn't for the boys. It was, and they didn't do it. I wanted to study, but it wasn't. There wasn't that thing to do it. And then I think I pushed myself to do it. I wanted to. I aspired to get a degree, get a qualification, and be a role model for my kids. That you can balance and have different areas. But you've got to.
Did you have that support though? Did you have that sort of like, you know? I think sometimes women get fearful of going out and getting an education or going out and getting a job because thinking, oh well, who is going to look after my children? You know, who is gonna, who is gonna cook and clean and do all the things that a mother should be doing? You know, so having that support and that backup from family, from your husband, I think is a big It's a big thing.
I don't think my husband, he was very good at it. I mean, he did what he could. But I don't know.
Allah.
I can't even explain it. It just fitted. So I waited till my youngest was in nursery, and then I was able to find, for the first year I found evening classes. So fed them, bathed them, put them to bed, went, and then when she went nursery, I was able to go into day classes. It just kind of thingied, worked itself around. And then when I started like do my placement and stuff, she was in reception, or she was a few hours. I always worked it. I worked around my kids, because one of the things that while they were small, I told myself I'm going to be home when they're home. That was a priority for me. That while they are small, I'll do my work, because the work for me was for me. It gave me the satisfaction, but I needed to be there for my kids, and then once they were old enough, then you had a bit more flexibility, I think. But it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy. And then
that's the most important thing as a mother. You want to be there for your child, and especially when they're young, because they need you. So you want to be there to pick them up from school, because you want them to tell you how the day went. You don't want them to tell somebody else, do you? Because you're going to miss out on that. And they realise who's there for them and who's not. They do remember that. Yeah,
but another problem occurred. So I was starting to be successful in the dunya, but then there was something missing. I wasn't successful in the deen. Because in my time of my parents, they knew how to pray namaz, they knew how to pray Quran, but I didn't have the love of Islam. And when my kids used to ask me questions, I didn't know some of the answers.
I think that's that generation though, isn't it? It's like, you were always told when you were a kid, pray namaz, but you never told why.
Yes.
You never told the benefits.
Yeah, you're going to go to hellfire. You're going to go to hell if you don't pray.
Not the benefits. So it's like pray, but like, it's like Muslims said, like, I was praying, but I didn't know why.
Why I was praying.
And then it's all
because our parents don't have the understanding of it. So then, so you've got family. So I had family. I had on a path to a career. But then, where was my relationship with Allah? That was lacking. It wasn't there, was it?
So I mean, I've seen so many women, like women that we know personally, who've sacrificed so much for the deen. And like, sometimes I think to myself now, like, why am I sat here? Somebody else should be sat here, because they're more worthy of that Superwoman title, because they do so much. They go out, they plan, they prepare, they go all over the country, and they put the deen first. And everything else, like you said, it falls into place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks after your children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks after your family when you're going out on that path of the deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks after everything else. All your other affairs are looked after.
I used to, early in my days, I used to accompany another sister to go and do her little things, and one day she rang me and she said, will you come with me, because she's going out of town. And I was thinking, short notice, I need to cook. I've not cooked, and my husband's going to come from work and he's going to want food. I need to cook. But then I thought, okay, Allah, I'm reliance upon you. So I'm going to go, and then I'm going to see what happens. And I went, and you wouldn't believe it, like 2-3 people dropped food off at my house. I didn't even ask for it. They said, we cooked this today, Rihanna, so we'll drop it off for you. But then, okay, but there's people out there that think that you can't do it. You can't balance career. What do we say to the youngsters that are going to school, going to college, maybe wanting a career, and they say, I can't do it all?
You can. You can.
We're testimony to that. You can.
4 kids.
4 kids.
3 kids.
3 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Husbands, families, house. Everything else.
But does that define a modern superwoman, the one that has all three? What defines a modern superwoman in your eyes?
I think it's important to have the Islamic element. And I instilled that in my children as well. The Islamic education is more important than the mainstream education. That's why I put my boys into Islamic school, because I believe that that's the most important education you can give your child.
Yeah.
'Cause your child is an amana to you, and you'll be judged on what you taught your children Islamically.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I put my boys into Islamic school.
Oh, mashallah, that's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think modern superwoman is somebody that's able to balance everything.
And
You've got to hold that rope on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. Put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first,
yep.
and then everything else will fall into place. Because we do that, don't we? We go, like, if we're in trouble or if we need help,
Mm.
we put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala last. We go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala last.
We go to Allah when we need Allah.
Yeah, like so we're in trouble or we need help. We'll be ringing our friends, our family, our whoever. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do? Instead of like going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sit on the musalla first. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you with whatever you need help with.
Mm.
And then go to people.
It's
Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring the means for other people to come
Yeah.
to you to help you.
It's like you said, you have to have tawakkul in Allah. And you did. You put your trust in Allah and He provided the food.
That's it, yeah.
You
Like
have,
you said, yeah.
you have to have that tawakkul in Allah,
Yeah.
and He does deliver.
I wish there was English food that they sent curries. It would have been good. Mine.
Chips or something.
No.
Beans on toast.
Jackie potato. No, yeah. I love a good Jackie potato. It's so simple and easy to
That's the thing,
cook.
it's like as well, like sometimes you feel guilty for like just doing something so simple, like a simple food, because you see all these like other mums that do stay at home and they're like cooking all these like dishes and it's rice, it's biryani today, and you're thinking, oh gosh, my poor kids are just having Jackie potato. But it's not. You shouldn't feel like that. You should be made to feel, because you're still providing.
Yeah.
You're still looking after. They're still eating, they're still healthy, they're still happy.
So how have you built your relationship with Allah?
I'd say it's from obviously when I reverted.
Okay.
24 years ago now. And I think it's just keeping that connection, and also on the path of tazkiyah as well.
Yeah.
That's helped massively. Because you're always given something to do. You're always, with the tick sheets. You're always given something to do. So you're always like busy with that as well. That's something else that you busy yourself with.
But before you came into Islam, you wouldn't have had the knowledge. So I think I read somewhere that you joined some classes somewhere.
Yes, I joined the UK AIS. So UK's Academy of Islamic Sciences. That was.
Were you one of the first, the original class?
I was one of the. I was an OG. Yeah.
Yeah. OG.
Yeah. So back in, I think I graduated 2017.
Right.
That was like a three-year course there.
2017. So you had kids.
Yeah, I had kids.
Had you started your?
I started my Alima class, and I became pregnant with my last child.
Oh wow!
So my last year I did while I was very like.
Were you waddling into the classroom?
Stages.
Early. Okay.
Early stages. So I did have a lot of the sickness and stuff like that you get, and it did last obviously until I left.
Right. Okay. And did that help you? Did that give you that foundation?
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah, it gave me a lot. It gave me a very good foundation, because it gave me that like I said before, that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I didn't know that I needed because of.
Well, we weren't given that when we were younger, were we?
No.
So you
I didn't have anything like my mum and dad like atheist.
Yeah.
So we didn't really believe in
a higher being,
in a god or anything like that.
Just shut up. just
So yeah, it's just it did put a stamp on it, definitely.
Yeah.
That, you know, the connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most important. And
I
having
think
that
you learn.
relationship.
I think you learn that when you go through life experience, when you go through hardship, when you go through struggle, and you put your faith in the Almighty, and He does deliver, and that builds your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Did you start your journey early, or to like the connection and your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa
Oh
ta'ala?
yeah, absolutely. From a young age, I was really interested in Islam. I found it really intriguing. I used to do a lot of research.
Okay.
Go to
So did you go to mosque as well, like, you know,
Yeah.
madrasa?
We went to
Our mosque was like, there's Alif Ba Ta, you know, that's what we got, and then the ruler.
So there was no like Akida.
There's no fiqh, no,
We didn't learn with Tajweed, did we?
No, we
But
didn't.
thankfully we teach our kids with
Yes,
Tajweed, which
yeah.
is really important, isn't
Yeah,
it?
okay. Who would you say is your role model? Looking at, you don't even have to choose past. Think of a person that inspires you to maybe balance, or even, you know, to go towards deen. Who would you say is your role model?
It says Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, I didn't define it women-wise.
Oh, women-wise, okay.
Yeah, yes. Choose a woman from history or present, or that you.
It'd be Khadija radiallahu anha.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why?
She's the all-rounder, isn't she? She's got the, as you said, she was a businesswoman. You know, she incorporated Islam. She proposed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, didn't she?
Yeah, women's rights. Women's rights.
I'm all about women's rights.
Yeah.
I'm always encouraging that as well with my friends, and my family.
Yeah.
To put yourself first.
Yeah.
You know, and be happy, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of women sacrifice their happiness, don't they?
But she got it. She didn't sacrifice anything though. That was a wonderful thing. If she gave something up, she gave it up out of love and respect. It wasn't a sacrifice for her. And I think that might be, you know, the struggle that some people have. I have to sacrifice my career to get married, or I have to sacrifice
my family to go into education.
My family to go into education, or I have to sacrifice not sacrifice my kids, but I have to maybe, you know, not be able to balance them to have the career that I want. But when you look at the righteous and pious women of Islam, they did find that right balance.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, who's yours?
From the past?
No, it could be the present.
I don't know. I need time to think about that one.
Well, we've not got that long. You know, the podcast is.
Yeah, I'd say Hazrat Khadija radiallahu anha, because obviously she was such a definitive role model for us women to look at and to follow. You know, she had it all. She had everything.
She did.
You know,
she's one that stands out.
She stands out the most. She was the first to accept. You know,
Islam.
Islam, when the Prophet ﷺ came after the revelation. You know, so she's the one that she accepted Islam at the beginning without any question. You know, she had a successful business going.
Yeah.
You know, she had everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be successful like that, I think. I'd choose her.
Well, I'm not sure who I would have chosen before this, but I recently, I think, kind of got a little bit more insight to say that Aisha, and I heard that she was very confident in the way she was. She's like maybe an alpha female. She knew what she wanted. She had the boundaries. She and that relationship.
She had a good relationship with the Prophet.
Yes, but in that relationship, she still got her needs and her wants. She was able to express them, and they had a fun, loving relationship as well. And then later on, she was able to do the work of deen.
Yes.
She didn't,
She taught companions, yeah.
Yeah, the companions, the people said that, anything that we were stuck on, Sayyida Aisha would have the answer.
Yeah.
There was barely anything that she would not do.
To be wise and knowledgeable like that in the deen.
Yeah.
It's a big thing,
yeah.
isn't it?
And but she was confident enough to do it. She didn't, when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ passed away, she didn't hide herself and go into mourning or that's it, I don't want to have anything to do with the dunya or the people. She took herself out of that and said that now I'm stepping up.
Yeah. It's my time now.
Yes, yeah, I'm stepping up and I need to do what I can to help carry the message forward. And it's because of these women that the message is getting carried forward.
It's a huge responsibility, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a huge
responsibility.
Yeah.
She knows that the Prophet would like her to do that.
Yeah. Is there any questions on the...
I think we've got some questions on the YouTube channel.
Any questions on the...
Oops.
Right, sorry. We'll just check the
So
question.
what do you think needs to change within society and the Muslim community to allow more Muslim women to pursue their dreams and ambitions freely?
Right, so what do you think needs to change in society for more Muslim women to fulfill their dreams?
I think we need to encourage equality between the males and the females. Women can do whatever men can do, and we can do it better. We should always encourage that and treat the children equally and encourage their education.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we should be held back.
Yeah.
By society. I don't think we should be, held back in any way because, we're living in a country where we've got the freedom to choose what we want to do, but obviously, you have to
within a certain boundary. Yeah.
You have to move with the times.
So why not? Move with the times.
Move with the times.
But also keep that Islamic.
Okay. Yeah,
but it's
having the right balance. Yeah, it's exactly what we keep saying, isn't it? If you have the right balance, you can have it all. But the fundamental core thing is to have that relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal, and then everything else clicks into place. Yeah. You've got to have the main puzzle. Yeah. The main puzzle piece. If you don't have the main puzzle piece, it doesn't matter about all the others. No. You'll still miss the main one, won't you?
Yeah. And we keep coming back to that again as well, that having that, making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the core of everything.
Yeah.
And everything else will fit into place.
Absolutely, it does.
And that's what, that is success.
What motivates you and keeps you going while going to work, looking after your kids full time? What motivates you to keep going work for it?
To be a good role model for my children, to be a good role model for other women out there, to be a good role model for society, and I know that if Allah would be pleased with me.
Aisha?
The hereafter for me, what motivates me to keep going is knowing that there's something there in the hereafter waiting. That getting that pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that I've got that hereafter waiting.
I was going to say something funny, but then you guys, you just spoiled it. You with that serious answer, that motivation. No, I think the thing that motivates me for the work and the deen is it's just, I don't know. I think you've got to have that contentment inside yourself.
Yes.
And then for me, is to maybe try and give it to other people in the most, not being arrogant at all, but try and let people see that you can have it. Yeah. That's the thing that motivates me, because I'm working with people, and I think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me a certain skill set, and I can either use that to just sit at home and help myself and just my family, or I can use that skill set to help other people. You and your job are helping children, because you're a teaching assistant, and you're helping the next generation with their education, their confidence, their self-esteem, etc., etc. You're helping people in your job because you're helping them financially as well. you're listening to people who are struggling in everyday life with the cost of living, and you're trying to give them that, I'm listening to what you're saying, I know that you're struggling, let me see what I can help you with. And I'm trying to do what I can do.
That's it.
Kind of thing.
It's like the motivation comes from also knowing that you're helping others, like you said.
Yeah.
Conveying that message and knowing that I'm a person that's been through it, going through it, having all these things to balance. You can do it too.
Yes.
You know, so giving the dawah, you know, motivates. You know, letting other people know that what I have, you can have that too.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely,
so conveying the message, giving the dawah, you know, knowing that there's something out there that everybody can have, that you have as well.
Was there ever any point in your time that you thought it's too much? I'm juggling too many.
So many times. So many
like that
times.
every day.
Every day. Every day you get up and you're thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to do this? You know, and you do feel like giving up sometimes and throwing in the towel. But like I was thinking the other day, like, you know, you just get up, and you do it.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you think, how did I do all that? You know, how did I actually go to work, come home, do this, do that, you know, and still have time for the deen as well?
Yeah. You know, it is absolutely crazy. It really is, because I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I was just doing one area of deen, and over time I've just added another, and I thought it's going to definitely impact. It's going to impact on the family, it's going to impact on my job, it's going to impact on my children, and it's all voluntary. The deen work is voluntary for you, voluntary for you, voluntary for me, but Allah just keeps it going. And I'm sometimes in awe. I look at like you said, I look at the end of the day and I think, no, how did I achieve tick all these things? It's not possible. But there is no time constraint where Allah is concerned, is there?
There's just so many doors that just open.
Yeah. We think that culture teaches us the doors are going to be closed. You know, family are going to close the doors, they're not going to help you. You're going to struggle with child minding, you're going to struggle with this, with that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the door wider than any person can open it.
Definitely. And that's it, like you said before, that you're having that tawakkul.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, it's in your hands.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing this for your sake. You know, help me. You know, and he'll give away.
We're coming to the end of the podcast. I just, before we say I thank my guests, there is a part 2 coming up next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Please do log in. I think the post is there. I mean, I love this. I love
I was as beautiful as that.
Yeah. But
Unfortunately,
I actually think she looks like me. I see a slight, just on the chin. Yeah, just on the chin part there. I see a slight resemblance. But it's so nice, so vibrant, and it is a motivation.
Very empowering.
But we do have a part 2 coming up on Tuesday, the 3rd of September. 3rd, was it? Yeah. So do tune in. We are inshallah going to have regular podcasts. If anyone has a subject that they would like us to cover, please do type into the YouTube channel. I think there's is there any handles for us, for the viewers to type in? Maybe we'll get that up and running next week. But final messages from you guys? Any last words?
Just go out there and pray 2 rakat Salat al-Hajjat. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, and then just go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
If you want to start education, then go for it. If you want to start a career, go for it. If you want to, you know, if you're worried about family, don't.
If you want to get married,
go for it. You know, just put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pray 2 rakat Salat al-Hajjat, and leave it in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Because Islam gives you all that, you know. You know, it's just about incorporating that inside you, isn't it? And also, I think it's about building women's confidence. Because some don't have that confidence.
No, they don't. They don't. Might not have that support to do it.
Yeah.
But I think once they learn, you know, Islamic history teaches the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So many women are mentioned in the seerah. Of the Prophet Muhammad. When you learn about the pious women, you learn about their courage, you learn about their motivation. It gives that in you to maybe I can maybe take that step. And like Aisha said and yourself said, you know, take that step and then just have full tawakkul of Allah and just see where it takes you. So Jazakallah khair to Farhat and Aisha for coming all this way, keeping me company on this Women Talk podcast. It was lovely to be back, and inshallah we shall return next week with part 2.